Hello, my name is Annette DeTrolio, and I'm going to be discussing the ketogenic diet, its history, impact on obesity, and long-term health effects. First, I'd like to start with a basic overview of what the ketogenic diet is, how it works, and the history behind how it started. To explain a bit about carbs first, when we eat simple refined carbohydrates like white bread, our blood sugar spikes, which feeds our brain but makes our glucose levels unstable, leading to unwanted side effects, like crashing at the end of a meal. When we consume complex carbohydrates like beans, starchy veggies, or even rye and sourdough bread, the same reaction happens, but at a much slower and stable rate with fewer negative side effects. So when we restrict ourselves to less than 50 grams of these carbs per day, after about 3 to 4 days, the body enters ketosis. This means that the body must burn fat for energy instead of sugar. This process creates ketones in the body, which is then used as fuel. This is why we even get the name ketogenic diet, because it's based off of what our body makes, which are these little ketones, which can pass through the blood-brain barrier just like glucose does, which is how it feeds our brain. So this works as a short-term method of weight loss, but it is absolutely not recommended in maintaining long-term healthy weight loss. And what I mean by that is that this isn't a diet like the Mediterranean diet, which you can be on for 5 or 6 years, or it's at least not recommended that you do so. So a cure for epilepsy. Meet doctors Lennox and Cobb on the left side of the screen here. They first introduced the ketogenic diet officially to Harvard Medical School as a treatment for epilepsy in the 1920s. I was really surprised in learning this, but that's how the ketogenic diet actually started, as a treatment for epilepsy patients. So this type of keto diet is not what we think of today, though, a diet which is high in protein and fat. In the 1920s, all they knew so far was that an extreme deprivation of most nutrients, minerals, and vitamins forced the body into ketosis, which seemed to cure or at least significantly lessen symptoms of epilepsy and other neurological disorders. So what does this mean? It means that the ketogenic diet became wildly popular throughout the mid-late 1920s. In fact, you can see a picture of Johns Hopkins Hospital right on the right side of the screen. And their study was conducted, and out of 1,000 children with epilepsy who were put on the keto diet, 52% had complete control over the seizures, and an additional 27% had improved control, which is really amazing. We have our ancestors to thank for the keto diet. Back when this was the map of the known world in 500 BC, many ailments, especially seizures, were treated with methods of fasting, which really laid the groundwork for how we react to and treat epilepsy. Certain cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and even Alzheimer's today are treated with this keto diet. However, thanks to modern medicine, of course, the exact series of changes in the body while on the ketogenic diet is no longer a mystery. So there is a fall of the keto diet and now a rise in the popularity of the keto diet. So why did it lose popularity? As new anti-epileptic drugs became available to treat seizures, the keto diet fell to the wayside a bit because such a restrictive diet could no longer be justified to diagnose or to administer, especially on children. This resulted in dietitians being trained less and less on how to properly calculate and administer the keto diet for patients. And if implemented without correct calculations on things like weight, height, activity level, age, and gender, the ketogenic diet is ineffective and harmful, which made it lose popularity really quickly. Now, I'm sure most of you watching know keto diets have become really popular in recent years. So why is that? I'm going to put some stats up here on the screen that show a bit of a problem in America. About 40% of American adults aged 20 and over are obese, and 71.6% of adults aged 20 and over are overweight, including obesity. So a large chunk of the population really struggles with weight gain and weight loss. And since the keto diet is such an extreme way to cut carbs, sugar, and most processed foods, many people who suffer with obesity tend to find appeal in this diet since you lose fat very quickly from the body by entering ketosis and burning fat for fuel. It seems kind of like an easy way out almost. The question is, does it work? And how does the keto diet specifically treat obesity? This is just a disclaimer. While there is strong supportive evidence about the effects of the keto diet, the exact mechanics on why it's so effective in treating weight loss are not 100% conclusive. This also means the health risks and beneficial factors are not known for sure. However, here are my 3 theories to explain weight loss on the keto diet, concluded from my personal research. Theory number 1, When the body lacks carbs to burn for energy, the metabolic pathway gluconeogenesis occurs. This cycle generates glucose from non-carbohydrate substrates. One substrate ideal for this process is protein, which is eaten abundantly on the ketogenic diet. Some argue it is an expensive process for the body, meaning it burns an abundant amount of calories, which stimulates weight loss, while others claim gluconeogenesis has no effect on resting metabolism. Theory number 2, a diet high in fat and protein is more satiating, which reduces appetite. This is because fats and proteins digest much slower than carbs. This basically means that since fats and proteins digest more slowly than carbs, you need to eat less of them, which brings me to my next theory. Theory number 3, the ketone bodies that gluconeogenesis produces directly suppress appetite, which leads to weight loss. Since ketones have the ability to pass through the blood-brain barrier like glucose does, it is believed that ketones have the ability to suppress hormones that stimulate appetite, which in turn makes you eat less, resulting in weight loss. I think a combination of all of these 3 theories could be why the ketogenic diet is so effective if you want to lose weight. Now I'm going to talk about some long-term effects of the keto diet on your health. Fruits are sources of many essential nutrients that people don't get enough of, including potassium, dietary fiber, vitamin C, and folate. Since little to no fruit is consumed on the keto diet, dietary supplementation of these crucial nutrients is recommended. It's also recommended that if you pursue the keto diet for longer than 6 months, it should be broken down into segments. Each short segment of the keto diet should be followed by a much longer segment of eating a Mediterranean-style diet. If the keto diet is something that someone wants to pursue long term, they should also educate themselves on the Mediterranean diet. So some more long-term health effects. The keto diet has actually shown to have a positive effect on your gut microbiome, which is imperative for the protection of the GI tract and healthy digestion. Next, eat your probiotics and prebiotics. Since there's less nutritional diversity and fiber in the keto diet, enhancing it with probiotics and prebiotics will help maintain a healthy gut microbiome and healthy digestion. Many of the foods shown in the picture below would throw your body out of ketosis due to their starchy, sugary composition. So finding keto-friendly supplements to maintain the health of your gut and digestion is important. Next, and finally, my conclusion, which I have gathered from my research. So in conclusion, from what I have learned, the keto diet is so restrictive that if you do not fall into one of these categories, you can probably find a diet better suited for your needs. That being said, it can be very effective for those suffering from obesity, type 2 diabetes, epilepsy, Alzheimer's, and other neurological ailments, and also anybody who falls in the autism spectrum disorder. If you do choose to try out the keto diet, here are the pros and cons in a nutshell. The pros: you will achieve quick fat loss. It will boost your satiety, which means you will feel fuller for longer. It stabilizes blood sugar, improves heart health, improves your gut microbiome. And next, the cons. It's an extremely restrictive diet. If you don't do it just right, and if you don't diversify your diet just right on the keto diet, you can suffer from nutrient deficiencies. It's also a temporary diet. It's definitely not one that you can sustain for more than a year, and probably shouldn't for even more than 6 months. And as you can see, heart health is on this as well, because if you start the keto diet because you are really overweight and you have type 2 diabetes, it can be really good for your heart because you'll lose a lot of weight. But if you have hypertension or suffer from high blood pressure, it can actually be pretty detrimental for your heart health. Also, another con is the side effects during the initial stages, which can include confusion, fatigue, irritability, things like that. That's all for my presentation on the ketogenic diet. I hope you learned something useful, and thank you so much for watching.